Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. Welcome back. You know what time it is, Mitchell. You know what time it is. Welcome back to the Richard Sherman podcast. The schedule has been released, and my goodness, Mitchell, our Thursday night schedule looks fantastic. I think we got 12 divisional games, but let's talk about some of these schedules that we got for some of the teams that we love to follow, Mitchell. Starting with
Richard, the NFL does it right, man. There's really no break ever. You know, we go right from the draft. A couple weeks later, we got the schedule release. Everyone's talking about it. Let's jump right in on it. The San Francisco 49ers, they open at home against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Prime time. Richard, this is going to be a much anticipated game. What are your thoughts going in right out the gates, Monday Night Football against the Jets?
Well, it's going to be a great game, first off. I think that's a great matchup. Robert Saleh coming back to San Francisco. You know, there's so many storylines. It's a great matchup, figuring out what Nick Sorensen's going to be as a D coordinator. You know, how does Brandon Staley fit in? You know, the just dynamic of the defensive makeup, what they look like without Eric Armstead, what Aaron Rodgers looks like. You know, what does Brock Purdy look like in his third year? So many storylines, but I think the San Francisco 49ers get this game because Aaron just hasn't played historically well against them, at least in the last 4 or 5 years. You know, when he's come to San Francisco, whether it's playoffs or regular season, it's usually not going well. You know, you always have the storyline of they should have picked him, you know, hometown kid, you know, he had a shot at him. But I got the San Francisco 49ers winning that game. Then they go to Minnesota, which is a tough place for some reason for San Francisco to play. Everybody remembers the game last year when they zero blitzed right before the half. You know, maybe why their D coordinator has a different job now. But it just wasn't great. But I see them winning that game against a young quarterback and McCarthy that, you know, will get that system down. I'm sure Kevin O'Connell will keep it simple for him early. They'll run the ball, but I don't know if they got enough to beat them. The Los Angeles Rams is just a tough game, tough divisional matchup. It's in LA. Sean and Kyle, you know, Kyle has gotten the better of Sean majority of the time outside of that playoff matchup in the NFC Championship. But again, I have San Francisco winning that game. So starting it off 3-0, then they play New England at home. That feels like a win, Mitchell. I don't believe in Drake May in that way. And it doesn't seem like he's getting a lot of positive reviews coming out of New England right now. So we got him San Francisco 4-0. I got him beating Arizona at home. The Seattle matchup, I will be there, Mitchell, Thursday night. That's going to be really fun. You know,
the Sherman Bowl.
The Sherman Bowl, as they call it. I think that's going to be a really fun game, a tough game. I'm excited to see what Mike McDonald draws up because he drew up a really great scheme for San Francisco last year when he was with Baltimore. Gave Brock Purdy and that offensive line a lot of problems. So I'm sure he's going to look back at that tape and try to draw up some of the same problems. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan is going to look at that tape and try to find solutions to it. I got that game in a tie, Mitchell. The Kansas City game in San Francisco is going to be another game. How do you not have that in prime time? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing?
That might be the game of the year, and it's a 125 kickoff.
It's a 125 kickoff. Yeah, and it's not like this was like before, like you guys didn't have time and you don't know what these teams just had played in the Super Bowl. This is a Super Bowl rematch, and it's at 125. There's no way. There's no way. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. First off, I that's crazy. But I think that's going to be a really good game. You know, Patrick has been the Achilles heel of this team, you know, both regular season and postseason, obviously won 2 Super Bowls on their back. I think San Francisco have a good plan. I thought they had a good plan for him in the Super Bowl. What they didn't have a good plan for is Chris Jones because they let him run scot-free a few times that they shouldn't have. I mean, I'd rather you triple team him than let him run free. But I think San Francisco finds a way to get that game. Dallas historically doesn't play well at San Francisco. I mean, I don't think they'll get blown out this time, but I don't think they'll win. I think the Tampa game is kind of a trap game, one of those games you could fly all the way out to Florida. You're lethargic, you're tired, stuff. It's a 10 a.m. game. I feel like they find a way to lose that game, Mitchell. They do
Well,
find a way to
how
lose that.
hard talk about that, Rich? I mean, two elements here. You got the bye week settled at week 9. Like you
Mhm.
being a former player, you know the rigors of this season. How important is it to have a later bye week right here, dead middle of the season?
I mean, that's a perfect bye week. I mean, you with the 17th game, you could maybe push it a week or two, but I think you feel pretty good about that game. 8 weeks of the season, you're pretty much smack dab in the middle. Um, you feel good about that. Plenty of time
Well,
for
then
guys to rest.
you come out of the bye and you play, you travel, and we hear about it all too often more in college football, right? When these West Coast teams come East Coast and they just get blown out because they're starting at 9 a.m. their body time. Richard, how tough is it realistically, you being a West Coast guy, to go and play at 10 a.m.? I mean, is your body adjusted, or is that tough for you guys?
It I don't know. You try not to ever make an excuse about it, Mitchell, because you just got to deal with it. So I guess you don't really know. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you if my body's adjusted, my body's not adjusted. Um, you just go out there and play because we play some 10 a.m. games and we beat the heck out of teams, and then you play some 10 a.m. games where you're getting beat by bad teams. We played Miami one time at 10 o'clock, and I want to say they won 3 games that year with Tannehill, 3 or 4, and we lost to them. And we went on to I want to say we went to the playoffs that year. We might have went to the Super Bowl that year, but those are tough games. I think, especially Florida. I mean, that's about as far of a way as you can travel. I think them coming back at home versus Seattle will be another tough game. Anytime it's in a division, it's going to be a dogfight. You got Green Bay in November. Again, I got them tying Seattle. 2 ties in the season, Mitchell. They're going to break the NFL record for that. Uh, Green Bay. I think it's going to be a really good game. Another rematch in the playoff rematch at Green Bay in Lambeau in December or in November. It could get dicey, Mitchell. I got to give you that. It could get dicey. I
Mm-hmm.
know. I know. Brock played at Iowa State, and it got pretty cold out there. But Lambeau in November, December it can be tough, and it can be tough for everybody. So I think that's going to be a tough game. That may be a potential loss. So we got 2 losses on the schedule. Buffalo, I think they can go to Buffalo and get a win, especially coming off that loss. I think Chicago coming in, young team, a lot of weapons, but the young quarterback, I don't think he's gonna have some growing pains against this defense. I think that's a win. I think they beat the Rams again. I think they beat Miami. I think they lose to your Detroit Lions on Monday night at home. Detroit gets their revenge, and I think they finish the season with a win at Arizona. So
Richard, we're gonna have to clip the last 10 seconds of that. I need that. I need a
you need
reel
that.
for
You
that
need
for
that
sure.
injected into your
Oh
veins.
yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're this close to crowning an NBA champ. And with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. There's only so many games left, and DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and even more. Don't miss out, or you'll have to wait until next NBA season to place your bets. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your squad, and place your first bet. It's that simple. New to DraftKings, listen up. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500. Just deposit at least $5, and you'll get a bonus bet back equal to your first bet if it doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Richard. That's code Richard for new customers to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Richard, before we move on to Seattle, San Fran, I want to talk about this division a little bit here because, Arizona has been a doormat the last few years, but Kyler Murray's been hurt. He's back. He's allegedly healthy. He's got a weapon in Marvin Harrison Jr. Then the LA Rams, I know there's question marks. Losing Aaron Donald's a huge loss, but at the end of the day, Puka Nacua is one of the rising stars in this league, right? I mean, you got him, you got Cooper Kupp, you just drafted another running back in Blake Corum. You pair him with Williams, and all of a sudden the Rams offense looks pretty dynamic. And then the Seattle Seahawks. I know it's easy to say San Fran is going to win this division, but how tough is this division now? I mean, I feel like it's getting sneaky good, Rich.
Mitchell, in the last decade, it had to be known as one of the best. From 2010 to 2021, 2022, it had to be the toughest division in football. I mean, I think over half the Super Bowl, half the NFC contenders came from the NFC West. I think, the Niners went twice to the Super Bowls. The Seattle, we went twice. Actually, the Niners went, yeah, twice. Yeah, twice. And then Arizona went once. The Rams went
Yep.
once. You know what I mean? It's no, Arizona lost an NFC championship to Carolina, but they were in it. The Rams went, what, did the Rams go twice?
Oh, they lost to
Yeah,
they won
they went
twice.
twice.
They
Yeah, they went
lost and
twice. They
won.
went one golf and then they went with Stafford. So if you
Yep.
think about it like that, Mitchell, that's a lot of Super Bowl appearances. That's what, 6 Super Bowl appearances in the last 10, 12 years. Like, that's a really tough division from 3 different teams. 3 different teams.
Mhm.
San Francisco just went again. So that's 4. So that's 3. So that's, you know what I mean? And so, yes, this is a really tough division. It's been a tough division. It could go any way. I think San Francisco is obviously the favorite because of what they've done in the past 5, 6 years. They deserve that kind of credit. New head coach and Mike McDonald, great defensive mind, great defensive scheme, but it has to be seen how it will translate in Seattle. Geno Smith had a really good year the year before, Pro Bowl year. Had a little bit of an off year, a little banged up. Offensive line got banged up. See if he can rebound because they got more weapons offensively. Your boy K9 got banged up a little bit. And then the Rams. The Rams did a lot with a little bit last year. A lot of unknowns in Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, the offensive line, some of the pieces on defense, and they showed up in a really big way. And I think that they'll continue with that momentum. So it's going to be a fun division to watch, no question.
Yeah. So where are we at, Rich? What's the grand total of wins and losses? Let's just say for your sake that they split with Seattle. So I don't know if 2 ties is realistic.
What, San Francisco?
Yeah.
I got San Francisco with 13 wins, 13-4,
Okay.
Mitchell. I got Seattle. Going. I could see them going 10-7, Mitchell. They got some games
Yeah.
in there that they have to win. I still feel like that Atlanta game is kind of a trappish game, but I feel like they can beat New York. Miami's in Seattle. That's a long trip for that team. That's a really talented team. But I think, again, Mike McDonald has some experience seeing these teams in the AFC. He'll have a good plan drawn up. I think they can beat New England. I think they can beat Denver. I think that's 4 wins right there that I could see him getting. They catch a break with Buffalo coming to Seattle again. It's a winnable game for them. I think Chicago's a winnable game. I think Minnesota's a winnable game. I think New York's going to be a dogfight going all the way to New York to MetLife and getting a win, but it's a winnable game. And then you got Arizona twice. Again, they could split those games. I think they could split with the Rams. They usually struggle with the Rams for some reason, even last year. But I got Seattle getting 10 wins.
I like that. I mean, we were talking about it off air. The first 2 games of the season, I mean, there's a lot of question marks around Denver right now. They got a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. You think another year under Sean Payton, the team's going to probably be a little bit better going into this year, but you got a rookie quarterback at home. I think you pencil that in as a win. And then you go play another rookie quarterback in New England on the road. I mean, Seattle could get off to a hot start at 2-0. And I know Miami's a tough team, but you got them at home again. And the 12s are going to be live and active. I could see them, in theory, Rich, starting 3-0. A lot of buzz around this team going into a Monday night game in Detroit. And unfortunately, as big of a Lion fan as I am, I've also been well aware that they've struggled against the Seattle Seahawks, both home and away. This game right here, it could really tip the scales for the Seattle Seahawks. and how they traject throughout the rest of the year. Because right after that, they follow up New York. Who knows, Rich? I mean, they could be 4-1 going into your Thursday night Sherman Bowl against San Francisco. And
It could be 4-1 versus 4-1, or 5-0 versus 4-1, or it could be really a really cool matchup.
What are your true, I mean, outside of, win losses, what are your true, like, what's the bar? Like, what are your expectations? What goals are you setting out to achieve if you're a player on the Seattle Seahawks team? What realistically do you think they can achieve right now under a first-year coach with the roster that they have?
Well, I think your goal is always to win a division. I mean, at least when Pete Carroll was there, usually for every team, that's the goal because that guarantees you a playoff spot. But I think 10 wins is definitely something that you're playing 4 rookie quarterbacks. You're playing a Arizona team that has underwhelmed even when Kyler Murray plays. It's not like Kyler Murray is just like the magic potion that when he plays, they're unbeatable. I mean, he has a very unique and very cool skill set, very dynamic player, but it's not like when he plays, they're just world beaters. I mean, you saw last year when he wasn't playing, they ran the ball well, they beat some really good teams, and then they kind of fizzled out. So I don't know if they can't, they're going to improve dramatically with Kyler, you know what I mean? Just because Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. I think he'll have a good season. He'll do well. He'll make an impact, but they're going to need to continue to run the ball and play good defense. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to when Kyler's going to, again, have to manage the game better than he has in the past. But yeah, I think 10 wins is a reasonable goal, is a reasonable expectation. I think defensively, that's where my questions are. If Mike McDonald has the kind of impact that he had in Baltimore with this Seattle defense, and they play anywhere in the stratosphere of what Baltimore was able to do, this division is going to have their hands absolutely full. Because if Grubb can do what Geno and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and K9 and JSN, if he can do anything close to what he was able to do at Washington, Mitchell, this Seattle team is going to be an issue for a lot of teams.
They got a lot of weapons, Richard. We got to talk about my hometown Detroit Lions. I, for one, the game that sticks out to me most on this schedule is when you're going to be in Detroit, Rich. I get to host you for like 2 days. We're going to have a rip-roaring time. Green Bay comes to Detroit, Thursday Night Football in December. I could not be more excited for that game. That's the number one game on the schedule for me. Richard, they open at home against Matthew Stafford. Sunday Night Football. Just as a Detroit fan, there's already conversations started here, right, Rich? I mean, we saw it last year with the playoff game. I don't know what, Matthew Stafford's expectation were and coming in. You're definitely not going to be getting some tribute video in the playoffs, but maybe they give it to him now. I don't know if he'd even want it at this point.
Right.
But
I
Richard,
don't know if you can.
You could not ask for a better week 1 opponent. The LA Rams come in Sunday Night Football. Just walk me through all these games, Rich. I'm very anxious to hear what your impression is because I think I've rubbed off on you a little bit. I think you're starting to bleed a little Honolulu blue and silver.
Mitchell, there are a lot of matchups you could have asked for that would have been using the Rams to open the season and Sean McVay and all his nonsense. But I think it's going to be a good barometer for both teams.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good measuring stick for both teams. I think there's some revenge aspect in there for Sean McVay and those Rams, those young Rams that were fighting a little bit out of their weight class last year when they came up to Detroit. And they were a bit, they were out of their depth. They were overperforming. But still, I think they're going to have a good plan for Jared and what they have to do. And Jared and this team running the ball well with Jahmyr Gibbs in that attack. And now you've sewn up Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've sewn up Penei Sewell. You've added some weapons. You've added some guys defensively, some cornerback help. And Carlton Davis, and you drafted a good corner. But I think this is going to be an absolute dogfight. But both teams are going to run the ball. It's going to be a really short game because of that. But I think your Detroit Lions are now in a class of the elites, and I think they win that game.
Well, we got to clip that too, guys. This is unreal,
Mitchell,
Rich. I don't know
Mitchell,
what the hell's going
Mitchell,
on. I
I got
don't
to
know
give
what
him
the hell's
credit while
going
we
on.
got it, Mitchell.
I'll take it. All right, so we're just give me a laundry list here, Rich. Walk me down through the schedule, win loss on each game. I got to know where you stand with these lines at the end of the year.
Well, Baker comes to town, Mitchell. I think Jarrett's not. I mean, you guys still got a good offensive coordinator. Jarrett's no stranger to Todd Bowles and what he likes to do. So I think you pull that game out. I think you walk over Arizona. I think Arizona's going to be picking top 5 in the draft again this year. I mean, I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong, but I just don't see them. They had some really good games last year, and then they had some games that they struggled, but I think they struggle again next year. They play Seattle again. We talked about that game. I think Seattle has their number for some reason. It's one of those matchups. Think Seattle gets that win. So I think they start off the season 3-1. I think they go to Dallas and get some sweet revenge. I think they go to Minnesota and beat the rookie quarterback in McCarthy. I think Tennessee has a down year. They go in there and beat them. So what are they now, Mitchell? 6-1.
And one loss. Yep.
I think they go to Green Bay and beat them and start establishing the dominance of this division that they need to. They went from kind of laughing, it was a joke, biting people's knees off, to now it's on shirts, Mitchell, and they're coming off an NFC Championship game berth. So I think they win that game. I think they take a tough loss in Houston. I think that Houston team just has something special going. I think the young quarterback is in a realm of his own and playing really dynamic. I think he's going to pick up where he left off, with more weapons, more experience. Tank Dell coming back into the fold. I think they're going to come in with a lot of experience. I think you lose that game. I think you beat Jacksonville because they've been Jacksonville a little overrated for the last couple years. I think you go into Indy in a tough game, tough environment, and beat them. So what are we at, Mitchell?
2
8-9-2,
losses.
2 losses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't believe
11
you
and
lose to
2.
Chicago. I think Chicago's going to have a down year with some special plays from Caleb Williams, but a down year overall. I think he's gonna have some tough learning curves, even with the talent and the weapons they have, and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and the guys that they have. They have a lot of weapons, but at the end of the day, these guys are in a different class. I didn't see them really shore up their offensive line in a way that they needed to protect them. Everybody was blaming Justin Fields, but I think everybody after this year will understand, no matter what weapons you have, if there's nobody blocking for them, then they're not getting that ball out. They're not going to have success. So I think they win that game. I think they Thursday night in the spotlight, big stage, 50,000 fans screaming in a rage. I think they lose to Green Bay in front of us, Mitchell. I'm
Oh boy.
definitely gonna pick Detroit, but I got
I
something
hope you do.
in my crawl about that game. I think they beat Buffalo. I think they beat Chicago again. I think they go into San Francisco in a really tough game. And
You already said they're going to win it.
They already said they were gonna win it, and then they beat Minnesota, so they're gonna be at what,
14-3.
14-3, Mitchell. 14-3. You heard it here first.
I love it, Richard. I mean, do you think they've done enough? Obviously, last season ended in a heartbreaking fashion for Detroit fans. They blew a huge lead. I mean, the additions that they've made defensively, does it convince you that they can withstand, some of these runs in the future? Because that was really what held them back. They had no secondary. Their pass rush was very mid, as the next generation says. Richard, did they do enough? Because that's 2 positions that they did address this offseason.
I think they did enough. I think they did enough in keeping their offensive coordinator. Retaining their offensive coordinator was huge. That was probably the biggest move of this whole offseason for them. Because I think, just another year of continuity, another year of understanding with the same players, another year with Jahmyr Gibbs, another year understanding the players that they have, their strengths, their weaknesses. Jameson Williams getting another year, even healthier. I think that's going to be the biggest barometer. I think they're going to take the next step. Now, I don't know about those playoffs, Mitchell. Those playoffs get really wicked out there, but I have this team having a really good season.
I love it. I love it. We got to talk about Dallas. I know you love Dallas so much. You actually just recorded undisputed out of the team facility down in Dallas. I know you love that, Richard. What are your expectations of this team?
My expectations of the Dallas Cowboys, I think they got 11 wins in them, Mitchell. I don't think they have a particularly strong schedule. So I got them in 11 wins. They play a lot of the rookie quarterbacks, the young quarterbacks. We were talking about this on the other show. The Pittsburgh game, I got them winning that game. I think Pittsburgh defensively have gotten a little beat up, a little worn down. TJ Watt, obviously, you still have him, and he's a menace. Cam Hayward, still a menace. But Minka Fitzpatrick, really, really good safety, one of the best in the National Football League. But I think there are some weaknesses that can be exposed on that defense. I think offensively, they've just been inconsistent with their blocking and their running the football. And a lot of it was put on the offensive coordinator last year, but they'll have Russell Wilson, an experienced quarterback, not under a ton of salary restraints. So I think they'll ride him unless something crazy happens. I'm sure he'll get the ball to George Pickens a lot more than Kenny Pickett did. I think they got Deontay Johnson, a really good receiver, but it's just something
he got traded to Carolina. Deontay did.
Well, Mitchell, I don't.
They are shorthanded at wideout, but
I don't see them winning that game. I don't see them winning that game. I think Dallas has 11 wins this season, but still goes to the playoffs and makes me do my dance. They kept me away from my dance last year, and that's a different kind of hate to keep me away from my dance. I didn't have any answer for the wild card done. Like, get to the divisional
and done. Richard, is this the last year for McCarthy? If they don't win a playoff game or two, is he out?
Mitchell, Dallas has a lot more questions than that. Like,
I'm with you on
that. What the F are you guys doing in general? Like, and early in the offseason, you're like, oh, okay, they're just taking their time. But you have yet to pay the guys who play the best on your team. You have 3 All-Pros on your team. 3. Actually 4, I think. And you have not paid them. You have not paid them. They're going to, hey, I told you guys last year, Dallas fans were, oh, yeah, CeeDee Lamb, you were so wrong. I was like, oh, yeah, you guys so excited about that. I love it. They're just not going to be as excited when he's making $31 million and you're handicapped with the rest of your roster because you're going to have to pay him $30 million. Then you're going to have to pay Micah. What did Nicholas John Bosa get? Because they're going to have to pay him a little bit more than Nicholas John Bosa. So that's 2 players for $60 million, Mitchell. And guess what? You're going to have to pay one more player, just one, for probably $60 million a year, Mitchell. Guess who that is?
Dakota Prescott.
The Dak. Mitchell.
I know that the market dictates how much money these guys are going to make. But Richard, CeeDee Lamb isn't just
$20 million.
CeeDee Lamb's not just going to make $30 million a year, Rich. He's not. He's going to probably be making 35 a year because you just saw Amon-Ra sign for 30. Immediately the next day, A.J. Brown signs for 32. So you know what his agent's going to do? Hey, I need a couple more million than that. And then Jared Goff, and this is why it's a lot of money to pay. We didn't even talk about the extension with Jared Goff, but the guy's making $53 million a year, which is just a ridiculous amount of money. But the reality is, a year from now, he's probably going to be the 8th highest paid quarterback in the league, and Dak Prescott's probably going to be the highest. So it's just like every season, the money keeps going up and up and up. But how do you handle this cap situation in Dallas? Because they don't have a running back, Rich. They didn't draft one. They didn't sign one. I don't even know who's in their running back room now, but that's a pretty vital position for their team, don't you think?
Mitchell, very vital because they need to be able to run the ball well. But 3 players, Mitchell, and this is, and I was being fair with all of them. I wasn't overpaying any of them. Like maybe you can get Dak for $55 million, I guess. So you could have 3 players cost you $120 million of cap space. Mitchell, That's a little under half of your cap. 3 guys.
Yep.
Everybody was so excited that I was wrong. Y'all gonna be wishing I was right. You're gonna be wishing I was right because you're gonna spend $120 million on 3 guys. And you have to, or you let them walk. You let them walk and you become a worse team. Okay, let them walk. Say they're replaceable. Tell me that Micah Parsons, you can find another Micah Parsons. Let me find you another CD Lamb. Yeah, go ahead, find it. They're not out there like that. Okay, just I guess find you another franchise quarterback. He was second team All-Pro last year. I know you guys said he's not a winner, but nobody can tell me who the winning quarterbacks are. Nobody can tell me. Everybody tells me Dak's not a winner, but nobody can tell me who the winners are. Mitchell, who's the winners? Are you going to tell me? You going to tell me who are the winners? Because y'all talk about him and you talk about my guy Kirko. Good quarterbacks, but you say they're not winners. But who are the winners? Is Josh Allen a winner? Where has he gone? Man, what has he won? He just hasn't. I'm sorry. Who's your winners? Who's your winners? Brock Purdy got as many wins as all of them, if not more. Only one you can say is Patrick Mahomes. That's the winner in this league right now, Mitchell. That's the winner. Outside of him, who's winning? Who's winning consistently in these playoffs, Mitchell? So when you talk about this, and people always make this argument, Dak's not a winner. Well, until y'all can tell me somebody other than Patrick Mahomes that's a winner, and do not give me Joe Burrow because he is right now, he's on the injury-prone list for me. You got 2 seasons. When Lamar missed 10 games, 2 seasons in a row, they said he shouldn't be paid, Mitchell, because he was injury-prone. When Joe Burrow misses games, nobody tells me that he shouldn't be paid because he's injury-prone. He is a fantastic talent when he is on the football field. Mitchell makes that team a contender. But when he is not on the field, which is pretty often these days, they are not as good. Or you know what I mean? Jake Browning did pretty good last year. He held it down, but they're a different team without him. And nobody's saying that. So can you say he's a winner? I mean, they were 5-5 when he went out. So, like, what are we saying now?
I'm with you because the reality is you can't just let a franchise quarterback walk. I mean, there's going to be debates all day where you would put him in the hierarchy of QBs out there. Reality is he's probably a top 10 guy. You cannot let a top 10 quarterback in this league simply walk out the door. It doesn't work like that. Richard, we've got to talk a little bit about the Jets. We haven't talked about him. It was supposed to be this amazing experience for this franchise last year. You brought in one of the GOATs in Aaron Rodgers, and 4 snaps into the season, he's sidelined for the season. Blown out Achilles, tries to make a comeback, obviously doesn't. But Richard, what are your expectations of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets this year?
Well, I think the best part of their schedule, Mitchell, is they avoid the AFC North. That's the best part. I'll give them that. That is a blessing. They get the South instead of the North. And there's parts of the South you don't want to deal with. But it's better in the North. You rather deal with the South than Burrow and Lamar and Cleveland and everything that has to do. Make sure that you don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you instead get Houston, which is going to be a very tough game for them to win. But you got Aaron, you got talent, you got things. You could get that. You got them. You got Jacksonville, a winnable game. You got Tennessee, a very winnable game, Mitchell. I'm saying you got Tennessee, a very winnable game. And you got Indy, a very winnable game. So those are games where you're like, hey, if you have to substitute those 2 conferences, those 2 divisions, you take the one you got in a heartbeat. Then you got a game against Denver. I think they can win that game. You got a game you got 2 against New England. I think those are 2 wins. I think you got to take advantage. Why New England dominated this division for 2 decades. While they're down, you got to take full advantage of it. You got to win both of these games, and I think they will. I think they'll get both of these games. I think Buffalo is headed for a little bit of a down year. Even in Josh Allen's prime, you got rid of your two top two receivers and you replaced them with young guys, and I'm not sure you did enough. I'm not sure you replaced the kind of production that you lost, and I don't think you replaced the kind of production defensively that you lost. So you got young guys that you say are ready to step in and make a difference. We'll see, but I think they could get those 2 games. I think in that division, Miami, it's Miami's or the Jets to lose. I think that it's going to come down to Miami and the Jets. Tough games, though. Tough games. They got tough games. Minnesota could be a toss-up. These rookie quarterbacks, anytime you're playing rookie quarterbacks, I mean, you should be able to have success, but sometimes they overachieve. But I think this is a very favorable schedule. I think 10 wins is definitely doable for this team. Could get all the way to 12, but I don't really want to go all the way there. I think 10 wins is fair to say for the New York Jets, Jets.
Well, let's not forget about this time last year, you predicted the Jets to make the Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, Richard, how realistic is that possibility?
It's very realistic. It's just their defense performed at such an incredible level last year. Can they match that? Can that defense match what they did last year? That's the question. If they can match or exceed what they did last year, then oh my God, this is definitely a Super Bowl contending team. I mean, can Breece Hall be the dynamic player that he was and stay healthy? Can that offensive line, can you not lose 3-4 tackles in one season? I mean, can you stay healthy there? Those are the questions. That D-line, can they be as ferocious as of a pass rush as they were last year? Quentin Williams had a great season. So I think those are the questions. Can Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, Sauce and Reed, can they play up to the standard that they were able to play up to last year? So if that defense can play up to that level, then yeah, they would be a Super Bowl contender, but that's a big if. And Aaron's performance is a big if. We got to see. Coming off an Achilles is not an easy injury. Even if it's all the way healed up, a lot of things change.
You know firsthand about that. Speaking of Super Bowl contenders, let's go to the Super Bowl champ, the Kansas City Chiefs. Richard, what's it going to take to knock this team off their pedestal? Because everyone's going to be gunning for them this year. They've got a very difficult schedule. They're playing on every day of the week except for, Tuesday? Richard, what are your expectations of the Kansas City Chiefs this year? Will they repeat?
It really doesn't matter, honestly, Mitchell. That's the thing about this team, because we used to think it mattered. We had questions. Hey, can they do it? Can they do it from home? Can they do it away? Can they go through the gauntlet of on the road and win games? Yes, Mitchell. The answers were emphatically yes. They went on the road last season in really tough environments and won. So they went to Baltimore. Did they go to Baltimore and win, Mitchell?
Yeah, they did.
So, how can we question this team? So that's where it was like, hey, they kind of lollygagged through the season last year. It was a down year. You're like, man, even I was like, I mean, they look like they're a team going home in January. Like they should be going home in January. The way they're playing right now, they don't look like a team that's going to win a Super Bowl. And then Patrick Mahomes got into the playoffs, playoff patty, Mitchell, and he willed his team to the Super Bowl. He, along with that defense and Chris Jones, they made a lot of great plays throughout these playoffs. Their defense, Justin Reed, their corners, their young corners, made a lot of huge plays throughout these playoffs, and it overcame everything that they had to deal with early on. That was the difference. The defensive scheme in the playoffs, the defense carried them to a lot of wins, but I don't know, Mitchell. I mean, you got Carolina on the schedule. Carolina's not a great team right now. I mean, I would guess this is a 2-3 win team. You got multiple rookie quarterbacks on the schedule. I don't know, Mitchell. You got Denver on the schedule twice with a rookie quarterback, and traded away some of their weapons. I don't know. You got Atlanta on the schedule. Kirk coming off an Achilles. They weren't a great team last year, but I really don't think it matters for this team, because they've proven that they can do it as the 1 seed. They've proven they can do it as if they have to go to the 1 seed and win, They can still make it to the Super Bowl and they can still win even when they have an off year. So regardless, I expect them to be in the Super Bowl, Mitchell. They can go 9-8, Mitchell, and I still think they're
Yep.
gonna have a chance. They proved that to me last year. Look, I'm off doubting them. They shut me up.
Well, they had to make some tough decisions this offseason too, Rich. They had to part ways with L'Jarius Sneed. You know, he was a shutdown outside cornerback, but they elected to pay Chris Jones over him. Then they get some discounts in the free agent market. Hollywood Brown comes over from Arizona, which just frankly was not a good fit for him. You know, now Mahomes gets another vertical threat, another speed guy, you know, not quite a cheetah, Tyreek Hill, but he can kind of play that same role. And then they draft Xavier Worthy, a 4.21 burner out of Texas. You got those two guys, speed on the outside with Rashee Rice and obviously Travis Kelce. This team offensively, in my eyes, got better. We'll see what happens, you know, defensively in that cornerback room, if they can hold down the fort. But Kansas City, man, like you said, doesn't matter the circumstances, the weather, on the road, at home. When the going gets tough, Patrick Mahomes gets it going year in, year out. And this team, it's hard not to say, hey, yeah, they're going to repeat. Although I would hate to see it. But Richard, before we close, go ahead.
They always let their best corner go. I don't know why. They just do it. They did it with Charvarius Ward. They did it with L'Jarius Sneed. They still have Trent McDuffie, who looks like a freaking star in Spags' defense. And they've used him really good. They got Watson on the outside. They just seem to develop defensive backs really, really well. So I don't really bat an eyelash. I'm really happy for L'Jarius Sneed and his money. He deserved it. But I think they're going to find a way to cover up his loss with other players. But I mean, at the end of the day, Mitchell, you cannot doubt this team. Man. It's hard.
No,
it's hard.
No. Richard, let's turn the focus a little bit to Thursday Night Football. I know you were pumped when you saw the schedule release. It seems like the NFL got things right. I don't see a game on that schedule that I don't want to watch. This schedule is prime, pun intended. And Richard, what are your thoughts? I know you get to go to some fun places, have a good time every Wednesday and Thursday night when you get there. What are your thoughts on this schedule?
Well, I look forward to the great games we got on the schedule, Mitchell. I mean, it's fun places. We get to go to New York 3 times, which is, I mean, that's a long flight every time, 6 hours every both ways. But the ones that catch my eye, the initial Miami Buffalo game is going to be really fun. The Sherman Bowl between the Seahawks and the Niners, that can be a really fun game. I think they're going to both come in with great expectations, great records. A lot of hype with the new coach and Mike McDonald, a lot of expectations for Kyle Shanahan, a lot of pressure on that team. I think it's a really good game late in the season between Cincinnati and Baltimore. I think that game we got ruined last year when Burrow got hurt. He hurt his thumb in that game last year, exact same time of the year, I believe, exact same place. But it's really cool to see so many division games on the schedule. I think that's what I'm really, really happy about. Obviously, going to Detroit, the Green Bay Detroit game is going to be a really fun one. The Black Friday game in Kansas City is going to be great. See Kansas City play the Raiders. See what the Raiders are going to do. To see my guy Tony Gonzalez get some more love in Kansas City. You know, the Kansas City legend. The Jets Houston game is going to be a really good game in New York. You know, getting to see CJ Stroud in person again, that young team and all their firepower, getting to see D'Amico. I get to see Coach Saleh 3 times a year this year, which is going to be great, or twice this year. Get to see Kyle twice, get to see the Seahawks twice. So those are some of the things I'm really excited about.
Well, Richard, that concludes our NFL schedule release show. I know we're fired up to get back into the swing of things here. We're going to have some guests for you guys along the way. Expect a lot more from the Richard Sherman podcast going forward. Richard, sign us off, my friend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's been an absolute pleasure giving you this information. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, hope, pray, and wish for your team to pay the players that deserve to be paid. But understand, when they get paid, your problem's only just begun. The romance is not over. You got a whole lot of guys to pay. Let's see. I gotta write that one down, Mitchell. We might have to tweak that one a little bit. But you guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. We'll see you next time with a special guest. Thanks for tuning in.